Hi, it's Mitz from My Life Mitz. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm going to be working in my traveler's notebook. I'm using the accordion style notebook refill that is available from Traveler's Company. The previous Journal With Me session, I used this insert to document my travels, or I guess travels through restaurants with my friends here in Tokyo, Japan. If you missed that video, I will leave that linked down below, or I'll put a card somewhere. But my friends and I have decided to travel different types of restaurants in and around Tokyo because we are not able to travel. And it's such a fun little idea, traveling or going to different types of restaurants and trying out different cuisines from various countries, and everything is just absolutely delicious. We haven't decided what we're going to do next, but maybe it'll be like a year-end party. I mentioned this stick-on pocket from Traveler's Company. It's part of their yearly, like the annual sticker pack that they come out with the calendar, with the tabs. I don't know what the specific name is, but I mentioned this in the previous video, but I wanted to share with you how I'm going to use it for here. So like I said, the three sides, there's adhesive on the three ends, and then a slit at the top so that you can slip in thinner objects like receipts and things, and that's what I ended up doing here. And I paper clipped the postcard to the top or the front there, and I think I will, in this video, I'm going to be journaling about our trip to Saitama, Kawagoe, Saitama, which is a nice little area. It's not in Tokyo, it's in a prefecture called Saitama, and it was a really, really nice little trip. It's very convenient to, I mean, it's far, but it's convenient in terms of like train and transportation wise. There's several trains that go directly to Kawagoe. I wanted to, this is a side note, I wanted to bring my knitting project because I knew I was going to be sitting in the train for quite some time, and I wanted to bring something with me, but I ended up not knitting. There was one time I knew I was going to be on the train for over half an hour, so I brought my knitting project with me, but it was just way too packed. There was no room to sit down, and everybody was standing, and there's no way I was going to get my knitting done. But yeah, it's funny how I think about these things. Before, it was I would sit down in the train and think about journaling, and I suppose it's just one of those phases that comes and goes. Right now it's like the knitting phase where I just wanted to, I don't want to say waste my time, but instead of scrolling on my phone, I'd rather just sit down and knit instead. And prior to that, it was just sit down and journal. But yes, so like I said, my friends and I visited Kawagoe, Saitama, and we tried this. I'm not sure who found the restaurant. I want to say that it was Yulia. She found the sweet potato restaurant, and the restaurant offered many dishes, including sweet potato, very healthy dishes, not too rich or sweet, very natural flavors, and it was so good. So good. Yeah, and here I'm just kind of grabbing bits and pieces of paper that I have received in some Happy Mail and adding that as my border for my picture. I think I mentioned this in the previous video, but I was talking about these clear stickers that are little dots, and I know many people use them for scheduling purposes, maybe to highlight a certain day on the calendar. Perhaps it's like a holiday or something. But in this case, I'm using the stickers as decorative purposes, and you can see there. I really liked how this one turned out because I stamped. I think the Kawagoe station had one of their prefectural stamps at the station, I think it's mainly JR that offers these types of stamps. And I didn't have paper at the time, so they gave me a piece of paper, and I ended up stamping that stamp on the scrap piece of paper, and I turned it backwards and saw that it was like a map, and so I'm using that as scrap as well later on in the video, and it turned out really nice, being able to use up all of these little bits and pieces of scrap paper. And once again, I'm just using the little dot stickers. I like them because they're translucent. They're very cute, and I've done it in the past where I kind of stuck them on the back of the page too, kind of as a background. I don't really highlight days on my calendar. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do highlight, but I don't use these circle dots for that reason. And so, yeah, I'm using it for journaling purposes instead. I printed off a lot of these photos. I printed off all the photos on my just regular standard printer at home, and I used, oh, what's that app called? I always end up using the same app to kind of make a small little collage of photos, and then I end up just printing that one sheet of A4 sized paper. The app is called Pic Collage, and it's free. I don't know about now. I'm assuming that it's still free. I haven't received any updates or anything like that, but I just use a free app to collage the bits of photos that I have. And I tend to do this often. I will keep the sleeve for my chopsticks, and I will definitely use the chopsticks sleeve in my journal. And then I like to fold a piece of paper or fold my journaling into that slot for that chopsticks sleeve. You'll see what I mean coming up soon here, but I end up doing that often. I end up tipping the chopsticks sleeve into my journal using just some washi tape on the side, and then I slide whatever it is that fits in the sleeve there, and it's like a cute little tip-in interactive way of journaling. I'm using one of the tabs again, and this time I decided to share with you how I use the rub-on sheet that's included in the Traveler's Company calendar pack. I don't remember, what did I end up rubbing on there? Let's see. Okay, sorry. So I ended up writing down the word menu, and I really like the rub-on stickers because it doesn't add too much bulk. And so, yeah, I used the tab, and then I stapled it to the... Actually, I don't think I stapled it because I didn't have enough edging there on the side of the chopsticks sleeve, and I didn't want to staple the actual yellow piece of paper onto itself. So I ended up attaching it with some washi tape and a little bit of the tape runner glue there. And I think it created a nice little, like I said, interactive piece of the journaling spread. And continuing on, I will be finishing off on the other side. I'm curious to know if you've used this accordion style notebook insert from Traveler's Company. How, or what have you used it for? Like, have you used it to journal a certain trip that you took, or maybe you're just using it just for journaling purposes? That's totally, of course, it's up to you how you use your journal inserts. But I'm curious to know if there's other people that have used this specific accordion style insert. I had a bit of trouble wrapping my head around how, or which one was, like, which page was the front and then which page was the back side. But you know, it all kind of ends up being okay as long as the journaling part is inside, and you know, I keep my memories and my journaling thoughts in the notebook. I don't think it really matters which one is the front or the back. It's a really lovely piece of memory here. So I'm just adding the last bits of photos and ephemera bits. And like I said, that paper piece from the JR station, from Kawagoe station, where I stamped, it really turned out nicely because I ended up using it as a background. I actually don't know where the map is. I think the map is probably part of Saitama or Kawagoe, but it ended up working really nicely. That little card that I'm holding was a little bus pass. I think it's really handy if you are traveling to Kawagoe because I think you can go on and off several times. We ended up just using it to get there and go back. It ended up being cheaper that way. Instead of paying the fare 2 times, it was cheaper to just buy the bus pass, so that's what we ended up doing. But I think if you're spending a longer period of time there, or you're thinking of visiting more spots in Kawagoe where you can make use of the bus, I think it's a nice little handy bus pass to have for the day in Kawagoe. Once again, just kind of decorating the pages with the dots. I ended up using the dots to kind of highlight the corners and stick the corners of the photos down, and I think it turned out really nicely. This little picture is of the mailbox in Kawagoe. I think it's the first. I don't know if it's the first time I've seen a gray one, but I know from time to time in different parts of Japan there are different colored post boxes. The standard color is, of course, is red, but I've seen pink, and I guess in this case it's a gray one. I don't recall any other colors, actually, now that I think of it. I might have seen a black one somewhere, but I'm not 100% sure. I do remember seeing like a pink one though. But yeah, in this instance in Kawagoe it was a gray, and so of course I had to take a picture. I went to the post office and then I got that postcard that you saw me clipped to the front there from Saitama, and then the specific post offices in certain areas, they have their special limited cancellation stamps where they stamp to cancel the stamp. Oh, I don't know if I'm making sense here, but I showed it in the previous video. But yeah, there's my spread of Saitama Kawagoe in my travel journal here. I love tipping in things and then doing another tip in of things with washi tape. And here's the fun little chopsticks sleeve, and then of course the photos of the food. I couldn't fit all the photos, so I ended up sticking another photo on the back of that, and then of course I'll add my journaling a little bit later. And if the journaling doesn't fit all in that one page, I can always tip in another piece of paper with my journaling. And here is the close-up of the pocket, the sleeve pocket that you see here. It's very, very cute, and it holds the receipts really nicely. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.